and welcome to Thoughts in the Green Room with your host, Jeff Mays. This week's topic, roots. As an actor, one of the challenges that we face is being able to remove habits and common things that we do when we're creating character. If I've got a tic, I always rub my leg or something when I'm talking, or I talk with my hands a lot. These things as natural habits that I do easily come into play in creation of characters because they are unconscious. And in terms of creating a character, if you're truly working to the base of creation, then you need to remove your own habits and find the habits which are appropriate for the character. This, of course, is a challenge because it's difficult to identify one's personal habits and remove them. It's hard to critique ourselves. It's hard to observe what we do objectively and then capture it. Now, I could do so if I continually recorded myself in my day-to-day interaction. That would be one way I could do it, examine the tape over a course of a week and recognize things that I do over and over and over again. I could go back through these various blog posts as one of those examples and find those things. But that is time-consuming. Important work, but very time-consuming. Now, with this thought in mind, a few weeks back I had the recent opportunity to do some travel with family, spend some good quality family time. And of course, while there, I started to observe that my family member was a reflection of me, or more appropriately, I was a reflection of my family member, my parent. And as a result of being their child, I, of course, have been educated, taught, and learned some of their habits and ways of doing things. So as I spent this week in close quarters with my mother, I started to observe and realize that some of the things I can see in her are things that I do because I inherited or learned those traits from her. So the observation of taking a look at my parent helped me identify stuff within myself. And in this way, I was, if you will, I was looking at a mirror and can now reflect back onto myself to see what similarities we have. Now, looking at my roots, I'm able to further myself as an actor and start to isolate some of my habits or things that I've picked up that shouldn't bleed into character. And as I thought about this even further this past week, it occurred to me that this idea of reflecting on oneself through the observation of family members becomes vital for everybody. We often pick up traits, habits of our family members, and because we are so similar, or because we are so distinctly different in those habits, it often leads to conflict or challenge. Sometimes it leads to greatness and getting along very well, but when we're looking at the ways to improve life, if we can identify similarities that lead to conflict because they're similarities, or exceptional differences that exist because of unlearned habits or things that we haven't picked up, then by isolating those aspects of self and recognizing them for what they are, we have the opportunity to consciously shift them or consciously continue to engage them for the betterment or possibly the detriment of a relationship, depending on what you want to do with it. In many ways, it's a subtle way to critique the self for growth and evolution. For an actor, it has my direct application and helps my craft, but as a person, it helps me interact with my family and my friends who have also picked up traits from and see where our similarities may rub the wrong way. So for this week's challenge, I turn to you, the viewer, and say, observe your family members, observe your friends, and see what traits and characteristics and habits you have inherited or learned from those around you. And once you've found things that are similar, take a look at them and see if those similarities are rubbing the wrong way, and maybe you can change for the better some of your relationships. Those are your thoughts from the Green Room. I am your host, Jeff Mays, and I will see you in a few weeks.